Hello, it's DelusionDispeller, and I'm here to talk to you more about this topic of the sexual addict or sexual addiction. This topic is shock. Let's talk about shock. If you've never felt it, good for you. You don't want to. It hurts. It's hard. It's painful. It's agonizing. It's excruciating. It's the loneliest feeling you will ever feel in your life, and you don't want to feel it. But if you do feel it, here is the way I would describe it. Every nerve in your body feels like it's standing on end, kind of like with her claws in my back like that, yeah. Um, Except that's a little sharper than the shock feels. It feels like your body and your bloodstream is electrified. You feel every bit of blood coursing through your veins. You just feel so terrible. You feel so alone. You feel so stunned and just stuck and empty and scared all at the same time. It's like terror, sadness, anger, resentment, fear, everything all wrapped in one all at the same time, and you're experiencing it all at the same time, and your body feels it physically. It's awful. And if anybody's had that, you know, when the narcissist leaves you for another person, the next supply source, when you're beaten and abused by someone you thought you could trust. Shock. When you're abandoned, when you're rejected, when you're mistreated. Shock. It's painful. It's awful. So let's talk about it regarding the sexual addict. When they tell you they have this sexual addiction, or you've discovered it somehow, the first thing you might think is, what else are you not telling me? Are you keeping things from me? How much of our relationship was a lie? How much of what you're doing was hidden? How much is still hidden? What else is there? What else do you want to say? It's basically the whole hiding thing. You know, what are you keeping from me? Thought we were supposed to be honest with each other about everything. You want the truth from him or her. And the problem is, you want the truth, but as much as you want it, you don't believe them. You don't trust them. They can tell you the truth, and it may be the truth or it may not, and you know that, but yet you're still demanding, tell me everything, tell me the truth, and don't lie. But as they're telling you, you're like, is he lying? Is she lying? Is this true? Are they leaving things out? Are they just saying this because this is what I want to hear? Because a lot of people do that. So you may be going through that. You'll probably cry a lot. You might cry for days and days, months and months, some people years and years. You might feel very angry, resentful, revengeful even. How could you do this to me? How could you just abandon our vows? How could you break a relationship where we were so happy? How could you just throw all the memories and everything we shared out the window and go with this person or these people with this addiction? How could you let the addiction be your lover and not me? These are all things that you may feel during this time. You might feel shame, like, oh my gosh, what are people going to think? I'm married to a sex addict. I'm married to this man or woman who have these terrible habits or drives or desires and want to do all this stuff that's just so distasteful and sinful and wrong and evil and hurtful. What are they going to think of us? What do they think of me? I'm still married to this person. I'm still with this person. This is my father. This is my mother. This is my husband, my wife, my boyfriend, my lover, my friend, whatever. And you're taking that shame on yourself. And you might do that. Excuse me. Sorry, it tickled my throat. You may feel numb. Like, you might not feel anything. In fact, sometimes that's the best way to feel during these situations, is just not care and not feel a thing. A lot of people will get on medicines at this time to just numb out and just not feel for a while. And when they're ready, they'll cope with it. I don't see anything wrong with that. Some people might feel like that's an escape. You know what? When you're feeling that much pain and that much shock, maybe you need to escape for a little while, but under a doctor's care. Some people will go the other route and start drinking or doing drugs and get into addictions themselves. Obviously, that's not a good choice, but people do. Sadly, And at the worst, you may feel very suicidal, like, why should I go on anymore? This person was my life. This relationship was my world. I presented this united front to the whole entire universe, and now look what he did. Look what she did. Look what they're doing. And this is such a horrid thing. This is a nightmare. This is the worst thing I can ever think of possibly happening to me, other than murdering somebody. You know, if they killed somebody, that would be hard too, because you still would be looked at as, wow, you know, your husband, your wife, whoever in your family or your friendship or whatever, had this terrible problem. The point is, you may feel like, why bother going on? There's nothing left. That's not true, but that's how you might feel at that time. Anyways, stay tuned. I am going to talk next about grieving, the stage of what I call letting go. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.